Okay, so good morning, everybody. It's great to have all of you here. This is a very exciting webinar we wanted to share with you. So this is another installment of the ShowerThinking webinar on Pharma series, and I'm really excited to be here with our colleagues João Marques and Daniel Badstue from Ferring, along with Joaquin Pais, who you all know from ShowerThinking. So now, before we get started with our presentation today, I wanted to give Joao and Daniel a chance to introduce themselves and their company to all of you guys. So Joao, Daniel, feel free to take over.
So, hi everyone. It's a privilege to be here to talk about our journey with Salesforce Marketing Cloud. So, thanks a lot, Joaquin and Álvaro, for the invitation. My name is João. I'm part of the global customer engagement team in Ferring, where I lead the global digital marketing function. And I'll be here today walking you through our journey with my global IT partner and also partner in crime in this whole journey of Salesforce Marketing Cloud, Daniel Badstue. So for those who have never heard about Ferring, it's a company focused in reproductive medicine and maternal health and in specialty areas within gastro and urology.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Daniel. So I'd also like to say it's a pleasure to be here today. I'm an IT business partner at Ferring Pharmaceuticals, as João just mentioned. My main responsibilities are around digital marketing, and that's why I'm here today with my partner in crime, João. And my role in this project is, being this technical link between the business and the IT organization to make sure that it's a fairly smooth ride. Thank you.
Okay.
Great. So Joaquin, do you want to provide a quick introduction? Maybe there's somebody here
Sure.
that does not
Probably.
know you, does not know Shower
Yeah.
Thinking. So
Yeah. Want to thanks to Joao from Lisbon and to Daniel from Australia for this webinar that has been requested by many of our customers. So let's go. Let's start this webinar for everyone. Let me
great.
share my
So for the
screen.
people that are joining now, just know that this webinar is being recorded. So if you missed some of the introductions or if you're not able to attend the full session, don't worry. The recording will be shared with everybody after this webinar. So, yep, Joaquin, feel free to jump.
Thank you, Álvaro. So let's go first for this disclaimer. IQVIA and Salesforce Marketing Cloud are the leading platforms in the pharma industry. And this is just to say that all the logos and trademark and information that you will see here are properties of their respective companies. A quick introduction to ShowerThinking. So we are a Salesforce marketing solution for pharma companies. We specialize in international pharma companies and also in the Salesforce, IQVIA, and Veeva platforms. We are one of the top 10 solution providers, and we are really happy because last year we presented the Grunenthal business case in San Francisco in the Dreamforce event from Salesforce, and this is one of the most advanced pharma case studies in the industry. Just to say that we are not only an implementation partner, but we also operate for our pharma customers, Omnichannel Journeys. We are operating, and this is the experience that what we bring here to the table. We operate around 1,200 Omnichannel Journeys for obviously for different customers worldwide. And I think that the Ferring case is very interesting because many of our customers have been asking me, Joaquin, why don't you present a case not so advanced? So basically what you can expect when you launch an omnichannel project in the first 6 months. And this is one of the reasons because I think that the presentation from Joao and Daniel is so interesting. How do you start this journey? And the second question, and also as Álvaro mentioned, we have more than 200 attendees to this webinar, is because this keyword, which is IQVIA. IQVIA is in the middle for this CRM war from Salesforce and Veeva. And I want to make a quick recap for this, what I say is a love history. Do you know that in 2011, after the foundation from Veeva, they have an agreement with Salesforce, and for many years, Veeva has been the solution for the pharma industry. But as many love stories after the pandemic, something break the heart from someone. I think that probably is this what there were some financial statements from Viva saying that at 12% of the revenue from Viva is in cost in subscription services, basically paying a lot to Salesforce for the platform. But the fact is that in 2022, 2023, both companies split their directions, and Viva is going to build a new platform, which is going to be named Viva Vault. And Salesforce is building its own pharma solution, which is Life Science Cloud, together with IQVIA. This is something, this partnership with Salesforce and IQVIA. This is something that we has been released this year in 2024. So really this news. So with this combination for how to start a new omnichannel journey in pharma, in this exciting mix of different technologies like IQVIA, Salesforce Marketing Cloud in the industry, I pass the lead to my colleagues to João. Please go on.
Thank you. And hi, everyone, again. Thanks, ShowerThinking, and also Joaquin, again, for the opportunity to be here today, sharing our learnings and experiences of Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Then in Ferring, as Joaquin also mentioned, we started quite recently with the proof of concept into markets. So it's still work in progress in Ferring, and we are, I can say, at the start of a journey. However, a capability that definitely improved the way we engage with our customers, bringing personalization to a different level. And in Ferring, where we are on a significant digital transformation and establishing the foundations, where we have a clear roadmap to build a fully integrated omni-channel ecosystem where data can flow across different capabilities in a seamless way. So here, Marketing Cloud is a fundamental piece or a hub to run these different interactions with customers, to help us deliver more relevant messages, and really help us to make the boat go faster by expanding the reach and the frequency of engagements with our customers. But we hope that with this session, it can really help you as you may be undergoing a similar journey. And myself and also Daniel, we are also very happy to take some of your questions in this or outside the webinar in case you have. So today we'll be just sharing a little bit of our journey as part of our proof of concept project, what made us select Salesforce Marketing Cloud as part of our strategy and plans, and what has been our journey adopting it from a business and technical perspective, sharing also some of the use cases and capabilities we have implemented so far, and share some of those learnings as we plan to use these learnings on the proof of concept project into as we work on the scale up of this initiative. So here, why we chose Marketing Cloud. There's two angles for this topic. So first, when we started this project, we did an assessment on what were some of the core marketing automation technologies out there. And we were also highly recommended by close peers working in this sector to use Marketing Cloud. So from a business perspective, we had to find a robust and reliable solution where we could bring together data from different platforms, where it's also a little bit easier with Salesforce Marketing Cloud to find pharma external solution partners to really help us build a global marketing operation setup around the platform. So Salesforce Marketing Cloud ended up being a natural choice for us to start the project in Ferring. So I'm sure many of you that are listening are familiar with how marketing automation solutions work. I like to say it is the central place to enable different operations and engagements with your customers. It helps improve our overall engagements and bring personalization to a different level. As you see here on this slide, I like to give also the example of Netflix and Amazon as examples. So we have all of them present in our lives. They know what is our preferred movies and documentaries. The experience that you have with Netflix or Amazon is tailor-made based on your behaviors and interests. So in pharma, I don't think we should be different, right? So healthcare professionals are not different and also have their own needs and preferences. And in order to build those personalized engagements, you really need to have a robust and a solid marketing automation solution behind, where you centralize many different channels into one single place to allow you to build an integrated experience by leveraging better data and technology. So it's, let's say it's not just about sending emails, right? So imagine having to send a personalized email to every single doctor individually. That will require a significant amount of time, right? So what makes really marketing automation different? It's about what hits the customer inbox that is really made for that specific customer, that specific doctor. So when we automate this personalization, we can monitor what a doctor interacts. So once we get a doctor rolled in a specific journey, they will get more relevant information based on what were their true needs, similar to Netflix, where it learns from you and also it presents the content that you want to see.
So maybe just to add to that one, João, it's quite critical that you have a solid CRM system with data is of high quality, right?
Exactly. Very good point, Daniel, because without good data, you cannot automate all these different customer journeys, right? So the data needs to be really 100% accurate in order for all these journeys to work in an optimal manner. So when we design our journey for the implementation of Marketing Cloud, it's very important to plan a roadmap. There were 4 main phases we had to go through that we are going to detail each of this moment. So we have a discovery stage where we start aligning and collaborating with different external and internal teams involved in the project. Also a design and building stage, a very important part, which involves a stage that is related with the integrations and pushing the data from different capabilities like the HEB portal, the CRM or webinar that my colleague Daniel will detail. Before we get to the final part, the most exciting part, where we are finally ready to start deploying different customer journeys, as you also see detail some of those learnings in the next slides. So regarding the discovery stage, and considering it's also not very common in pharma to have Salesforce Marketing Cloud related roles in-house, we had to identify the right partner to support us with the most critical part in the beginning, that is to understand the reality of Ferring in terms of its digital ecosystem. So a part of choosing the technical and operations part, which is very important, it is also fundamental to ensure the success of the project if the business and IT are fully aligned. So IT fully understands the business strategy and plans and can really support the enablement of the business plans regarding the overall MarTech. This is a very important part of the journey and where projects, I believe, can succeed or fail. So it's really critical to have, I like to say, a good joint venture approach in IT and business to really help the project go smoothly. Also, and not least important, as part of the implementation, you'll need countries to be your early adopters, right? And work together with countries to define how those customer journeys could look like. So really, my advice here and also the learning is try to partner with the countries that will be the first raising their hand and that they want to be the first implementing this type of solutions that we see will have a direct impact on their local activities. So an important advice and recommendation is make sure you partner with the countries that have a stronger digital maturity and also the right local capabilities in place, and that can be used as your early adapters and advocates, so that the project of implementing a solution like Salesforce Marketing Cloud can really go smoother and faster.
Thank you, João. So in the discovery stage, we looked at the collaboration between the right parties now. But now, creating a winning strategy is a critical part of the design stage, right? And what we did was we prepared an agile implementation approach where we started building this technical blueprint, which was based out of these user stories from the discovery phase. That allows us, when we moved into the build stage, to really implement and test functionality really fast once the core setup of the platform was configured. And one thing to mention here in the design stage was actually we looked at other platforms in the Marketing Cloud, but one of the things that stood out from an IT aspect was really the fact that you have this standard Salesforce connector that could connect our CRM system with Marketing Cloud. And I must admit, I was a little bit pessimistic because it's never easy, it's never plug and play when it comes to IT. But I must say, I was really happily surprised on how straightforward it was to use this standard connector. And that was one of the deciding factors from an IT aspect as to why we went for Marketing Cloud, because we did not need middleware. We've done a direct integration between Marketing Cloud and our CRM system, syncing data between the two. So all that we mapped out in our design stage into this technical blueprint that we then used to start building the elements for our proof of concepts here. So if you move on to the next slide, Álvaro, please. So in the build stage here, and what you see here is the data flow. So with Marketing Cloud, you have a push and pull mechanism. You want to pull some data from your CRM system around your accounts so that you can enter them into campaigns, automations, whatever it may be. But then as ATPs, they interact with your campaigns and journeys on Marketing Cloud. You also want to push those engagement metrics back into the CRM system, where you can then, suggest actions to your field force and whatnot. One of the critical elements in the data flow here is really, making sure, as I mentioned before, that the data you have in the CRM system is of high enough quality. And there's bound to be elements in this phase that you'll discover down the line that maybe the quality wasn't as high as you expected, right? That would but complicate things as you move into more dynamic journeys in Marketing Cloud. So that's quite critical as part of this stage. You'll enter these issues, you fix them with your teams, making sure that you have the right teams involved from the start. So yes, if you could move on to the next slide, please. So once you've got the data inside your CRM system, it's of course, you need to show it to your field force as well. And one of the learnings we have from Ferring here is, less is more. Try and be quite precise with the data and not to swamp your field force with unnecessary data. Here it's about the engagement, what was clicked on, was it opened, did it bounce, do I need to go back out and check the email address I had consent for, and so forth. So it opens up a lot of insights for your field teams on what to do with this data. But again, keep it simple. And in our case, we designed it almost identical to our approved emails that are sent through the CRM system. Yes, if you could move on to the next slide, please.
So as part of this proof of concept with Marketing Cloud, we also been trying to test and be innovative and try new capabilities around AI that Salesforce is currently implementing. So for this proof of concept, we have tried two. So the send time optimization and also the more recent capability or feature from Salesforce Marketing Cloud, which is the email subject line generator, which we saw it boosting significantly the overall campaign performance of our journeys. So here, just to highlight that we know AI is everywhere and there's plenty of AI tools out there, but we also believe that this is a really good and effective way to bring value to AI instantly, making use of the Salesforce capabilities with zero implementation efforts from other vendors that also sell some AI capabilities.
Yeah, I want to mention there, Joe, sorry, that there is a lot of slides or information or theoretical information about the AI, this generative AI, but I think it's really interesting here because it's a real use case using with HCP. It's indeed has been, I think, one of the first launch for AI, Salesforce AI was already 3 months ago, and it's a real implementation. It's not so this theoretical and theory about the benefits, but a real use case. Sorry, please go on.
Yeah, and I was just going to add, from the IT aspect here, and I'm not sure if there's any actual IT people on the webinar here today, but we get bombarded by the business with requests around AI. If AI is left, right, and center, right? We want this, we want that, but it's really, really hard to implement these actual AI tools that they come up with agencies. But what we see here is I call this native AI as part of a native capability of a platform, and that's where there's a huge value add to companies, right? Because as João mentioned, it is, I don't know if it's completely zero implementation effort, but it's very, very low, right? Because it's a well-tested solution by the vendor that you as a company can make almost instant use of, right? Without having to worry about algorithms and the next GPT protocol that's been launched, right? So this is definitely a learning from our side that we want to look more into, not just for Marketing Cloud, but across other platforms as well.
So now Daniel and I will highlight some of the customer journeys we have deployed so far as part of our proof of concept, or some of these journeys we're also in the process of rolling out. So the way we built this customer journeys as part of this pilot was to ensure that the journeys deployed could then be easily reused and adapted by other countries as we scale up with reusable templates and journeys, as part of the operational model that we have also designed. So we want to make it easier for other affiliates, other countries to also build on what's already developed for Ferring. For our proof of concept, and in order for us to move a bit agile, we had simple and hybrid journeys with a maximum of 3 to 5 touch points. So hybrid, for those of you that are not familiar, meaning here that you can combine 3 to 5 touch points, face-to-face engagements, and digital touch points. And we have used standard journeys that are typically the most commonly used in pharma, as you will see in the next slide. So first, we have deployed a more simple journey with the goal of increasing product awareness and frequency, highlighting the customers from a particular therapy area that didn't receive the, for example, rep trigger email. So the journey was deployed with a dynamic sender profile as if it has been sent by a sales rep. If you go to the next slide. So secondly, we have built another journey similar to the previous one around the product, but with a focus on this AI subject line functionality that I was mentioning before, where we did ABC testing, and that winning version was then used for the remarketing of that journey. The third journey we deployed was a live invitation for a webinar hosted in our HEP portal that also tested the Salesforce AI subject generator capability, but also connecting Marketing Cloud with our HEP portal so that in the future, we can track future engagements across platforms, so the CRM, the HEP portal, and Marketing Cloud, with the customers that have already consented. So it's really important to have accurate data, again, in the CRM to make sure these journeys are properly triggered, okay? Then if you go to the next one. Yeah.
Sorry,
please,
just to add there on the target list element here on the left-hand side. This is a direct, look up inside the CRM system on accounts that we have consent for, right? And based on various segmentations in there. So it's not a manual list that's loaded in and managed outside of the platform. This is coming directly from the source in the CRM system. Sorry, back to you, João.
No worries, no, great point. Absolutely spot on. So the fourth journey was an unbranded journey related with the training course. We also did ABC testing for the subject lines, remarketing sending with the winning subject line, which for those that engaged with the content within that journey ended receiving a satisfaction survey where we've used the Net Promoter Score, which was really the overall goal and focus of this campaign, to measure the number of NPS ratings. And here, it's usually hard to have customers rating, and this was a very positive outcome of this journey because we had a significant amount of NPS ratings rating the email as part of this customer journey. So that was a really interesting outcome as part of this journey. So The last two journeys, as part of our proof of concept, is what we call the always-on journeys. For those of you that probably are not familiar, those are journeys that are always running in the background so that you can automate with the right workflow and business logic behind, which is different to the more traditional campaign journeys that I was describing before that we also deployed, that typically have a start and a finish date, right? So here for our pilot, we did one related with the activity in the field. So we call it a miss you journey, targeting people that haven't been impacted with communication or haven't been visited over the last 90 days. Again, very important to have this information reflected on the CRM. If that's the case, it will trigger then a journey to share with those specific customers relevant content and assets to ensure the customer can then be visited and engaged again after the 90 days without any activity. So here important to highlight that the content will be fully personalized with the right information based on the specialty of the healthcare professional and also the assigned rep on that account, since we'll be using a dynamic sender profile. So the other always-on journey that we are building in the process of building as part of our journey here with Marketing Cloud is the consent journey. So after a new consent is received, it can trigger a journey with different touch points involved. So the important piece here is because it's automated, this is again coming back to the point of data quality. It's very important because if you don't have good quality data in your CRMs, it really can create issues down the line, as Marketing Cloud will always pick the data that is on the CRM. Do you want to add anything here, Daniel, on this part?
Yeah, and again, maybe, to just comment around the trigger points here on how doctors enter these automations. You can look at various data points around your customers, but again, we also should try and keep it simple, right? Because the more complex it becomes, the more trigger points, the more risk there is also for issues down the line on these journeys. So it's keeping it crisp, have a few key trigger points to segment your customers, make sure that they automatically enter these journeys as that data actually changes, right? And that goes for all these always on journeys, so not just the consent onboarding here, right? That's for any always on journey, and also where the power of these journeys sit, right? Because they scale exponentially without the effort involved in its scaling as well.
Yeah. So if we jump into the next slide, so just to highlight some of the key metrics of this journey we have just described. Here, just to focus on the ones where we have used the AI capabilities from Salesforce to do the ABC testing for subject lines. It was quite interesting to see AI beating in all cases the human generated versions from the A/B testing we did, which in our case we saw it actually achieving over 2 times more, as we can see here, than the subject lines generated by the human version. It doesn't mean that those provided by the human version were bad. It just means that AI can be actually quite powerful because they have access to a lot of data and keywords that can really help you improve the overall performance of your particular campaigns. And it was also quite, in our opinion, a really interesting feature to try.
I agree, Joe. I think it's really remarkable that this kind of systems are already improving. What I was not expecting. At the start of this project to the AI to improve what you will expect someone to be a specialist in pharma.
Yeah. Okay. Daniel, do you want to add anything to this to the metrics part?
Well, I was going to say when it comes to AI, right? The more, if you keep your keywords fairly generic, I think the AI will be quite superior to the human for sure. But again, there's a lot of opportunity to test a lot of things here and test it multiple times, right? To really see how AI can can improve your deliverability here, right? And I believe that they're also looking into using AI for when is the best time to actually send these emails as well. I'm not sure we've touched on that yet in our pilot, but I do believe that's a capability that's coming to Marketing Cloud too, from my understanding. Yeah, so that'll obviously be interesting, right?
And it's quite interesting the way it works, because you can just mention some of the most relevant keywords associated with therapy area or with that event that you are trying to promote, and the system will generate and will do the rest, right? I've been working on email marketing for many years and also in pharma, and I can tell you that it's very hard to beat the AI generated versions, because they are really accurate and really crisp, so very hard to beat those.
Yeah.
So if we go also to the next slide, so what's next for us in Ferring? Here we can say that even though, as you could see on this presentation, we already consolidated a lot of results and tested some of different capabilities, and we have finally the foundations in place, which is really important. So we are in a position where now we can really work on the scale up with a well-defined operating model. That's also a very important part for those of you that are starting, is make sure you define and make sure what is the operating model that you want to work. And of course, more than happy to give you some suggestions, but this is a very important part as you define also your roadmap with Marketing Cloud. We know where you want to go to get to the peak of the mountain, using this analogy here, where some of our peers in the sector are already. However, we are also conscious that there's still improvements and capabilities that are on the table that still can be implemented as we scale up Marketing Cloud. Just to wrap up, really important message to share with all of you is to take the risk and also try to innovate. Sometimes in pharma we tend not to be disruptive all the time, so sometimes we tend to be afraid of innovating and take the risk. So we know that the road is not straightforward. There will be things that will not work as expected, but stay agile, right? I think that's the important message. If you fail in one particular area, be nimble, and agile is key to a good outcome. So just because a campaign fails, it doesn't mean that it's a bad campaign. And again, cross-functional teamwork is fundamental. So get your IT, business, and local teams really working together with your operations and technical partner to really ensure a successful outcome for this project and for the scale up of this solution.
So maybe to add there, Joao, making sure that IT is part of the journey from day one is really critical, right? And especially the CRM team, because they're the ones who help you configure the Salesforce connector if you're using that, right? But to us, that was, I think that was a bit of a game changer to us, right? Because it really simplified the process for us. It made it much faster than if we would have had to put in a middleware to transfer the data between the two systems. So from an IT aspect, we simplified the integration between the two systems, and ShowerThinking was instrumental in making that happen from their side too. Went really smooth. Of course, there's some learnings that comes out of it from a technical side in the CRM system, where things we need, well, Ferring needed to adapt to some things, right, so that we could use the connector properly. But those are learnings for us that we need to work on to make sure that we can take it to that next step and build more complex campaigns and trigger actions back into the CRM system.
Great. So before we jump into some of the questions that I see that the audience has been sharing with us over the past couple of minutes, a quick thank you to Joao, Daniel, and Joaquin for this great presentation. Always interesting to get your insight on this journey and the Salesforce environment overall. So yes, I'm gonna now stop sharing the screen and let's focus on some of the questions. First question that I've seen a couple of times. So yes, this webinar is being recorded and it will be shared throughout all of our social media channels. So stay tuned. You'll get the recording as soon as we get off this session, and we'll upload it to our YouTube channel so that everybody can get to see this presentation. So now, João, Daniel, we have a few questions for you. For example, I don't know if João, you want to jump on with this one. So what have been the key stakeholders from the business to drive the strategy?
The key stakeholders from, you mean locally or?
Yeah, from the business environment, from
From
Ferring.
the business environment. So in this case, the global customer engagement team is a key stakeholder, right? Because they are the ones really defining the roadmap and the strategy, and Marketing Cloud for sure is part of that roadmap. And then always very important to align with your privacy and legal colleagues to make sure you are also compliant, right? But also when it comes to aligning with the local business, it's very important to align with local commercial excellence colleagues, digital marketing leads. Those are the colleagues that will, at the end of the day, will run the project in the country, right? Will be that bridge between you in global and also your operations partner and with the local team. So really important stakeholder as part of this journey is the commercial excellence slash digital marketing people, and of course the brand, the people working in the brand side, in the marketing side, because at the end of the day, you need always to get the right content to push through the right channel, right? And these people are also a fundamental piece of that journey, because they will be the ones providing the right content for these journeys to get fed with the right content, right? So it's very important. And again, that's from the business. And coming back to the point, and also the way we wrap up the slide, then we also need IT helping you, enabling those plans and those strategies. So that's why I like to call it a joint venture approach between global, local, and the IT teams. So it really needs to work as a blended function. Otherwise, the projects will not succeed. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you, João. Very interesting answer. So now, Daniel, I see there's a question for you because you touched on the implementation and the connection process. So you mentioned it was a very easy project, straightforward. But what would you say was the biggest challenge to deal with in the integration, and how did you overcome it?
The biggest challenge, was probably in the beginning, right? Because we were skeptical, because we've in the past seen when companies try and sell you these easy connectors, right? And it's never really easy, right? There's always a lot of work that needs to be done to customize in the back end. But in this case, where we use OCE, which is built on Salesforce, we've used Marketing Cloud here as part of our pilot project. So we went into the project actually having some belief, and ShowerThinking was very confident when they presented the solution idea to us to use this Salesforce connector instead of using our middleware teams. The challenges that we did encounter was not really as much on the connector level. It was more inside the CRM system, where we discovered some data elements that was not up to standards in some of the markets that we tested it with, right? And how did we overcome those? Well, our CRM team, they had some work cut out for them in streamlining the data in the backend, so the data that then flowed into Marketing Cloud was accurate, and we could accurately use like targeted list of doctors and so forth.
Mm-hmm. I want to comment to Daniels that also it's important in this kind of projects to in the design phase to define a data model, a Salesforce data model that can extract all the data from, in this case, from IQVIA, and has this data model, from the very beginning. I think it makes everything more easy later, in the project.
Yeah, and most of the, I would say, the smaller issues we had turned out to be permission sets on objects, right? So that you could actually extract it and sync it into Marketing Cloud. on a daily basis. So not really big big issues as such, right? I think we did encounter a small one in regards to our territory structure inside the CRM, where there was a limitation with the connector, but that we can overcome by doing a little bit of magic on the CRM side. And then hopefully, so that's part of the next step, right? To bring that into Marketing Cloud, so we can dynamically assign reps in there. Yes, hope that answers the question.
Great, thank you, Daniel and Joaquin, for your take on this. So now this question is addressed to Joao and Daniel, and maybe Joaquin can provide some support here. So the question is about what Joaquin shared in the initial stages of the presentation. So Joao, Daniel, are you considering migrating into Salesforce Life Science Cloud, or are you considering staying with IQVIA? Do you have any ideas regarding this question? Anything that you want to share?
Is that for IT or for the business, that question? I think the business probably doesn't care so much which CRM system they use as long as it meets the needs, right? I think it's a
I
bit
think
more
this is
tricky from an
yeah,
IT aspect. What do we do, right? Because it's going to be a lot of work for the IT organization, regardless what company you are, right?
yeah. I want to add, this is probably the question that all the industry has in this moment, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So difficult one.
I mean, we're on OCE, right? Salesforce, so you could arguably say that we're probably better off moving towards that direction since we don't use Veeva's CRM, right? But then Ferring does have a significant amount of other Veeva products, so we're a little bit in a split scenario, right? And we have not done that analysis just yet. So, but I'm sure, yeah, we're in the same boat as everyone else here, right?
Great, thank you, Daniel. And Joao, you mentioned stakeholders, business stakeholders. So there's another question here in regards to this. So they want to know if the management team had any feedback regarding the results and the process of this project, and if they were satisfied with what has been going on so far.
I think it's still very early. When you say management, you say upper senior management in this case, right? So I think here it's still very early because, as I said, we are in the middle of almost finalizing here a proof of concept, where we are, as I mentioned, consolidating the results. So it's still very early to say that we achieved or delivered on X, Y, or Z. Because, as I said, yes, we have built the foundations. Yes, we are ready. We have the operating model. Yes, we know where we want to go, but we don't have yet enough results that can. Well, we have already some tangible results, right? But it's not yet fully ready, let's say, to please or make senior management fully happy. But we already know, and we already have data that show us that if we move to a solution like Marketing Cloud versus the previous solutions that we had in Ferring, there will be an increase also in cost savings as well. We can definitely reduce a lot the cost per interaction by moving to a solution like Marketing Cloud. But I can tell you it's still too early to say that, because I said we are still in the middle of a pilot.
But from an IT aspect, sure, we have a connected solution here, whereas the older solution we had was a disconnected solution where everything was manually fed into it. Right? Here we have, a solution that's connected to the CRM as our customer master source, where we can pull out any information that we have in there that we feed in from other systems, right? So that is where the game changer is for us, right? Then you can argue that the content journeys, that needs to come as well, right? Because it's not really
what
yeah. Sorry.
Exactly, and this is really what Marketing Cloud can help us take to the next level, because as Daniel was mentioning, we had a disconnected, let's say, ecosystem where these different capabilities were not syncing and connecting to each other. And it's a really strong use case even for the business, and also as part of our roadmap and strategy in terms of where do we want to go in this area of customer engagement, that we have all these different capabilities talking to each other. So we have our OCE, our CRM talking with our HEP portal, We have our CRM talking with Marketing Cloud with our HEP portal. So everything really helps us going towards that 360 view, where we have the customer in the center, right? And we have all these different touch points, but the experience is seamless. So we actually move from being multi-channel to more omni-channel, where all the content displayed or delivered to a customer is based on the needs and the behaviors. And you can only achieve that when you have a fully integrated ecosystem, which is our journey where we are. So if that can answer your question, then that's a really strong business reason for us to invest in a solution like Marketing Cloud. That's a really positive outcome of this journey.
Maybe another point I wanted to, sorry, just to complement that one quickly. In Ferring, from a CRM aspect, we are using that as one of our master data platforms for everything customer related, which means that when we connected Marketing Cloud to our CRM system, Marketing Cloud gets direct access to other digital activities that we're feeding into the CRM system that Marketing Cloud can then use to enter doctors into new always-on journeys, right? So you can have a flow of journeys that connect each other based on these digital activity points that sits in the CRM system.
Good. Want to comment that we are receiving a lot of questions, probably too many, because we are coming to an end. I suggested you send us to Álvaro or myself by email. We will try to respond to you. There's one last question for you, Joao, and the question is if you are using a content factory, or do you consider to use in the future?
Yes, as part of the operational model that I was describing, we also, and as part of our ambition in terms of where we want to go, we know that working with solutions like Salesforce Marketing Cloud can be really complex, and most pharma don't have the profiles, are not prepared to have people in-house with the right knowledge in place to be able to operate the journeys or do the technical part of it. It can be really complex. So in order to leave time for the countries, and also to make sure we deploy more effective solutions. Yes, we also have an operational model where we have that in mind to make the life of the affiliates a little bit faster, so that they focus more on the strategic piece of the journey and less on the operational work, which we try, of course, to centralize with I don't like the word factory, because that really sounds like a very standardized way of working, but yes, a centralized production hub that can really streamline the overall process of designing and deploying a journey. We do have that, yeah.
Okay, and the last question for David: how long does it take a project of this nature?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, how long does it take for a project of this nature? How long does it take this project so far?
From an implementation perspective, we set up Marketing Cloud fairly quickly. I think that was a matter of a couple of months, getting it connected. And then as part of the blueprint, we started looking into the various data flow elements. I think we were flying with campaigns and journeys within 4 months, something like that. We had the first ones. But please correct me if I'm wrong, Álvaro. I think the first ones came out. And that was due to some internal delays, so we could have done it even faster than that.
It was early February. Yeah, we had a couple of pilots running early February. So yeah, around 4 months, as you said. Yeah, accurate.
Okay. And again, one of the things that you can do, right? You can do the technical configuration while you start working on building the campaigns and journeys, right?
Okay, nice. So, Álvaro, I think that we can wrap up. We are out of time, already 5 minutes out of time.
Yeah, many questions. I know it was a very interesting presentation. So thank you, everybody, for being here today and for participating in one of our ShowerThinking webinar
and again,
on Pharma
Álvaro,
series.
Feel free to, any of you that are listening to us, you can reach out to me and Daniel as well. We're more than happy to take all your questions offline and share more about our journey.
Of course, yeah, like Joaquin said, and as Joao just shared, you can hit us up on our social channels, find us on Ferring Network or the ShowerThinking Network, and share any questions that that we didn't have time to answer today. So again, thank you everybody, and stay tuned for more on ShowerThinking webinar and Pharma series. Thank you everybody. Have a good day.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you.